Hello, once again. Welcome to this class. And in this particular class, we are going to be paying attention to keep, cryptography using OpenSSL Part 2. We have done cryptography using OpenSSL Part 1, and this is the reason for this, for cutting it into two, was because of my battery issue and light issue. I would have done it straight to whatsoever. However, this part two is going to be focusing on encryption and decryption of documents again, and then also on hashing, right? So that is the two things we are going to do in this particular class. So please, I would love you to pay a very close attention. And this particular video is not meant for um, this particular video is meant for educational purposes only, and not for any harmful reason. I have to say this so that YouTube is going to be aware of the kind of content I'm making. Okay, so having said that, we have to go back to our board and be able to do what we are supposed to do, right? Okay, so in our previous class, we explained quite a whole lot of stuff, how we can use our, how to access your command prompt and to do all of those things. In our previous class, we were able to work with command prompt very, very well. So at this junction, I want to believe that you have mastered quite a lot of stuff in this place, right? So I'm going to start from where I stopped, but I don't know if you are starting from where you stopped. So I'm going to check what I'm gonna do now, if I'm going to start from where I stopped or whatever. However, let me first of all introduce to you what we are going to be doing here. So this is a document we used earlier on, so I don't want to use this document again. There was a class I've had with us in the past that I want to pay attention to now. The document recovery tags playing. No, remove the files I have saved, or I really don't want to cancel the. I don't know what's going to happen. Okay, it didn't cancel. Okay, so I've sent this document to us before, and our course rep is with it. So the it is called encryption with OpenSSL. That is what we save it as, encryption with OpenSSL. Okay, so and we have some steps that we want to do in this place. So I'm going to create a file. I'm going to use OpenSSL to create a file, right? However, I want that file to be, let me check something, and then I'm going to come back. So sorry for that. Okay. So so I think I know what to do. For those of us who maybe you opened your command prompt, and then you did not have all these things that we wrote here is not in your command prompt, right? So you want to, this is actually the exercise we did in the first part of this video. So I want to cancel this so that you'll not be confused, and then I want to open a new command prompt environment. So to open that, I'm going to do my Windows plus R, and then I'm going to write CMD, and then click on enter. It is going to open, and because we created a folder in the part one of this particular video, I want everything to be inside that part folder. So for that reason, I'm going to write a setting command. Okay, I'm going to write a setting command, which is cd. Oh, sorry, I'm not seeing my screen because I'm working at the night. So let me go and copy it rather than typing it, because of my screen that I'm not seeing, or not my screen but my keyboard, right? Okay, so let me come here and copy it, and then I'll explain it in these environments, right? Okay. Okay, so what I want to copy is the cd desktop slash d. So I copy it and then I'll paste it here. Okay, so the reason for that is because I want to direct everything I'm doing into that folder called open openssl dash demo, right? So that is the reason I explained this particular code in the first part of the video. So you may want to watch it so that you get yourself acquainted with what we just did. I don't want to waste more time here. However, what we are trying to do is to redirect where the computer will be storing our information and getting our information. We want to redirect it from ASUS to the desktop, and inside the desktop there is a folder we call openssl. So in that place now, so I want to click on my enter, and that has been redirected. How do I know it has been redirected? It removed this CD and gave me the actual link, and it's now telling me, okay, I found out that this is where you want me to work, get my information and store information from. So one of the ways in which we can get some information from here is by writing dir, and which has to do with directly. So the computer is telling us that we have looked inside this folder and we have find 4 files inside this folder. Now let me open the folder and let's check how many files that we have there. So you have 4 files inside of this folder, right? It's also telling us the name of the folder. There is one I called network security fundamental. There's one I call salary.encryption. There's one, and the rest of them. So that's basically how what it is telling us here. So let's go now to this particular project, right, that we want to do, and then I'll explain why I have to do this. So so I'm starting with step number 3, right? That is what I'm starting with. So I will say we should um, create your file. So we can use OpenSSL to create file, a video file, an audio file, and the rest of that. We can actually use it to create it. Okay, so in this situation, I've copied the code or the prompt that is going to help me to do that. I'm going to explain the prompt inside here. So I'm going to paste this prompt here, and then that is it. So this word that is echo, this particular echo stands for create. It stands for create. And inside that create, we are telling it to create what a test file, and inside of it, please write for me inside of it, this is a secret message when you are done creating it, and save it as what? As secret.txt. Now, so echo is supposed to create a file or a document. Now, this is what you want to put inside that document, right? And then we are telling it what the kind of document you want it to create. First of all, we told it, please, this is the name you're going to save it with, and make sure it is a text document, that is .txt. And text document has to do with a document where you can write something, right? So at this junction now, this one command is doing 2 or 3 things. Number one is creating a file. Number two is writing something inside that file for us. I think 2 things. That is what it is doing. So if I click enter now and do my DER as it is here, I'm going to no longer see only 4 documents but 5 documents. So let's do our enter now. I've clicked enter. I don't know why it's not working, but let me click it again. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me try to. Okay, it's supposed to work. Ehen. So it have created now, and it have created. How do I know it have created? dir, right? And then it's telling me 5 files have been created, and we can see that secret inside of here, right? And then I want to go into this place, and then you now see how many files. 5 files inside our day open ssl desktop environment. Blah, 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 blah. I hope you get what we are doing. So let me open this secret message, this secret file now. I'm going to see this is a secret message written inside of it by just using this one prompt, right? So an assignment I'm giving us now is I want somebody to send me a prompt, send me a prompt via my DM that is supposed to create a test file your with any message that you want to send to me. Okay, once I say it, I'm going to attend to you, right? Send me a prompt, just like I use here. This prompt, just as I use this prompt now. So you're going to send me a prompt that's supposed to create a test file, and with any message you want me um, to receive from you. Okay, now that is it. And then in my next video, I'm going to reference you in that particular class. Okay, that's very good. Now, having done this now, we have done the first thing and we have created a document, right? So let's go and see what our next prompt is going to tell us. That the next prompt is saying that we should confirm that the file exists, which we have already done that. And the next one say we should open the file. We have already, okay, we haven't done this. So there is a code or a prompt to opening a file in the command prompt. That is what I just copied now. Now, if you want to read a document in command prompt, you want to read it from here instead of going to open that document, and you know that document exists and it is not encrypted. One of the things you want to do is to what tell the prompt machine, or rather the command prompt, to read it out. Write everything inside this document, write it out for me so you can now read it from here or whatsoever. So basically, so I want to paste this thing now. So the prompt to do this is type. You're telling me, please type out for me everything that is inside secret dot what tst. And remember that this can be possible only when we are working on the what on we have told it the directory where that file was saved or something of that nature, right? So it is going to go to user, go to asus, go to desktop, go to openssl slash demo, looking for the document called was secret.tsd, and then it will type out everything inside of it. So let's go and click my enter button. I don't know why my enter buttons are having issue, but okay. Now, so it have written it out for me. This is a secret message. If I go back here and then write another thing inside of here, this is a secret message, or perhaps let me just say, hi, my cyber student. Hi, my cyber students. Thank you for having me as your mentor. I love you guys. Okay. So, and then I want to save it, right? I want to save it. I've saved it, and then I'm going to go back here now, and then I'm going to say type again, right? So this machine cannot update automatically. You have to tell it what you want, and then it's going to bring it up. So I'm going to paste it here, control V. Okay, instead of pasting it, let me just type, because I think I have type dash secret dot tst, right? And then I'm going to do this. So it has brought out the information that is inside that document or something. That is the same way if you save password and any, if maybe customer details and the rest of that inside the document with just one prompt, it can be read, and the rest of that. So we want to avoid it. So the what we want to do now, how are we going to make sure that we avoid this particular thing? How can we make sure? And another thing is this document, maybe a threat actor do not know. He knows the name this document was saved with. Perhaps he has seen an email sent to a certain guy, and then he knows the computer that guy is using. He saw the name of the email, maybe he was passing by, and then he saw the name of the of the file name, and then he didn't see the password. So at any time he has the opportunity, he can just come to the machine and prompt it like this: please search around this computer anywhere this document is, bring out the thing that is written inside of it, and then the computer is going to bring out everything. So we want to avoid it. This is what we want to avoid. So that is the place where encryption comes in. So let's practice encryption again. We have done it before, but we want to repeat it again. So in this situation, we want to encrypt this file, right? We want to encrypt this file. I'll copy this code. In my previous class, the part one of this particular video, I explained this encryption prompt. What every one of them does, I explained it in that particular video. Okay. So in this particular video, I explained everything in this place. Let me bring up my one of these. Yeah. Okay. So and then so what you want to do is to watch it and then understand it, because I don't want to waste a lot of time in this particular place. So what I want to do now is to paste this without explanation. I'm going ahead to what to work on it, because I've explained it in the other video and in other several attempts. Now, what is asking me to do now is to put a password. I think the password we use here is 1234. I've also taught us on some things that has to do with the password in this place. I've written 1234, and then I press my enter. I have to confirm my password, and my password is confirmed. At this level now, because we told it to give us an out document, and the name should be secret.encrypted, which can be changed. You can say out document Emeka dot tst or encrypted or whatever. But so I want to now, in this place now, I can now do my dir and find out that what the number of the documents have also increased from 5 to 6 now, because we told it to give us an out document, right? And then if I come here now, I'm going to see that I have a document called, is it up to 6 now? So what do I secret, right? Secret.encrypted. No, we are supposed to have secret.encrypted. Let me check if let me refresh. I don't know. Okay. Okay, so we have our secret document here. This is a document. So let me open it with Notepad, and then so that you can be able to see that the document is already sorted. And when we say that something is sorted in OpenSSL, that means it is written in barbaric language that cannot be understood by anybody. However, the original document has what? The original document can be read. Let me open the original document, and then you can see the difference. Hi, my cyber student. Thank you for having me as a mentor. I love you guys. That is the same thing they wrote here. So the this is what the threat actor is going to see as a result of you using OpenSSL to lock this particular stuff, right? Now, if we ask it to read it for us, I think I have a command like that in this place. So let's now tell, since OpenSSL have the attitude of reading what documents, let's now tell it to read this document for us. Okay, to read the document for us. Let's know if it is going to be able to read it. So I'll come here now, and then I'm going to paste this over here, type secret.encrypted, and then it's going to type that sorted message you have here, and then let me know. Okay, so this is what the threat actor is going to see when and this version is the one that you're supposed to send to anybody, and the rest of that. So in the first video, I explained how you can be able to um, how you can be what you how you can the industry standard procedure of sending files online, and the rest of that. And let me just repeat one of them. I said that when you want to send any file, be it to any government agency or to your client or whatsoever, and the rest of that, one of the things you want to do is to send the file separately using another medium, and send the password separately using another medium. So if you use email to send the file, use WhatsApp or Telegram to send the password. or whatever, so that um, is threat actors are not going to find them. If they find the password, they don't know the password, what it is for, or whatsoever, and the rest of that. Okay. So and then you can now delete this one that is open, that can be opened. You can now delete it from your machine, or you also leave it in your machine. However, this one is the one you must send. You will send online if you want to do any online transaction. You remember the concept of networking that we did some times ago, that every information that is on the network can be accessed by anybody, if that person is using Wireshark or any other tool that can be able to capture those stuffs. You saw how we were able to capture password and the rest of them using Wireshark, and we were able to sniff in through documents and the rest of that, right? Okay. So if you want to send anything, you send the. This is also how websites and brand, big companies and the rest of them, hosting companies, encrypt your information in the website, every website you're entering. So any website you are entering that do not have SSL certificates and do not have this key, let me know if I'm going to see how I'm going to find it. Maybe can I find it just like this? I'm supposed to find a key somewhere here, but these days it's difficult for us to find it like just like that. But that key is supposed to be here, right? I don't know. What am I? Okay. If I do, if I right click, I think I'm going to see. Is it right click or left click now? Okay, so left click. So connection is secure. So this key is usually telling you that your every of your information, all the password you type and everything is encrypted like this in this particular website. So any website that you're entering that has that key simply means that we encrypt your information. We show people in the internet the Babalik text instead of the original text that you write. This is the kind of thing we show them when you write English words or Igbo words or anything at all inside of that particular place. Okay, I hope you guys understand. And then the next thing we want to do now is we have encrypted this, and the next thing we want to do is to decrypt it again. So we decrypt it and then we rush now into hashing, which is another topic we want to learn how to do. So how do we decrypt it? I've explained this description before, so in the first video, so you want to go and get it and make sure you watch it. So I'm going to copy this code. I've explained it in the previous video, so I don't want to waste time explaining it here again. And then I'm going to paste it inside of here, and then I'm going to do my enter. It's going to ask me of my password. I'm going to write my password, which is 1 2 3 and 4. This is for educational purposes, please. 1 2 3 4 is not a good uh, password whatsoever you can use. Okay, somebody dashed me a phone when I was very, very young, and that phone was in password, and I don't know where to see this brother again. I just tried a random number 1 2 3 4 and 5, clicked OK, the phone opened, and that was how I thought I was a genius. Okay, so dir is what I want to do now, and then dir, and then I'm going to find out that I now have 7 files instead of 6 files, and the seventh one is the one that is decrypted, and we call that one. What do we ask it to call it here? uh, out documents should be decrypted.txt. So I should have decrypted.txt here. So I have it here. If I come to this place now, I'm going to see my decrypted, okay, in this place, and it's readable. So that is how your customer or whoever you're sending a document can be able to decrypt it, right? So the next thing we want to do is now a new topic, and I'm excited about this topic. And we want to learn how we can do hashing with I hope, where is my hashing document? Okay, so understanding hashing and file integrity. So this is the next thing we want to learn how to do using open uh, SSL. There are a lot of things OpenSSL can be used for, but because we don't have a whole lot of time, we want to make sure that we just learn a few, understand how that OpenSSL works with our command prompt, blah 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 blah, and the rest of that. I also think that our course rep has access uh, to this particular file, she can also provide it for us. Okay, so we say a hash is like a fingerprint. Just as two people has different fingerprints, files have different hashes. Each change, even changing one letter changes the hash completely. Steps in hashing a file. But before going into that, let me try my best to explain a hash rather. Now, when majority of us in Nigeria, we and many people in the world, I want to believe, are not using the original softwares of a lot of brands. For instance, now there are some persons who are using Microsoft Word just as me, that is not using the original one. As you can see in this place, it's telling me to sign in, right? I'm not signed in, and if anything happens to this Microsoft Word now, I cannot tell the company, you know, tell them uh, that they should fix it for me because it's not the original copy or something of that nature. However, there are some persons who purchase the original copy and they are going to you know, crack it and do some stuff just because they want to do business with it and a whole lot of stuff. I personally, I don't support that. Okay, so because so basically, so how do companies know? How do companies know that the file, the document you are using is the original document that they produce? How am I going to explain this? Now you wrote a letter. Let's say for instance, you wrote a letter to a certain company. You wrote a letter to a certain company that you want to make it do business with, and they received the letter and changed some figures inside of it and began to use that particular letter that somebody changed, or maybe a staff changed it and then the manager do not know that it was here, and they began to make decision out of that one, and then when you got to say no, this was not the deal, this was not what we agreed, blah blah blah, and the rest of that, they said no, this is what you agreed, this is what you sent to us, and a whole lot of stuff. Now, what you want to do is to take that document, go to hash, go to openssl and hash it. When you hash it, if it has a different, because you have the you that send it to them, you have the original document, so you hash it. You hash the original document. You will now see the license key. I want to call it the license key here. However, you what you're going to see is the hash key, right? Then you now hash that one they also sent to you, and then if it is a different key altogether, that means what? That means it was manipulated. So this is the minimest way I can explain this thing now. However, let's go direct um, to working on a document. So the first step here says this, that create a folder. We have done that. You have done the first step, and then verify folder is this. We have also done that. We already have this. Create the file, create this particular file inside of it. So what we are going to do now is we want to create another file, another text file. So I'm going to copy this thing, and then I'm going to come to this place, and then I'm going to paste this. That does not mean we cannot hash any other document, but we want to follow what we have here, right? So echo this, and then I will click on it. It have echoed, right? Now I'm now going to have how many documents here? This one is the one called class, and inside of it, you're going to see cyber security class, right? So let me go and hash this document and now come back here. Instead of calling it cyber security class, I'll now change the name and then go and hash it again for us to know what is going to happen. So I'm going to come to this place and then to my understanding hash, and then I'm going to come here. The next thing, every other option you have there is sorry, this is not the document, right? So I think maybe this. Okay, so hash the document. So the next thing you want to do is to hash the document or generate the what, the hash key. So in this situation, what you want to do is to copy this prompt, right? This prompt I might have to explain it later, but just copy it now and then come to this place and then you type it in this place. Okay, and then I'm going to click on what, on the my enter button, and it has hashed this document for me. Onegomo the okay, it's trying to say, okay, this document you sent to me now, this is the original license key I am giving to you. So this is the original license key it is given to us. And so we say output sample will be like this. Okay, this is the original product key for the software, right? Okay. Okay, sorry, checking something. And then so this is the original license key it has given to us. All these that are in this line is the original license key. So you may want to copy it out. When you buy some software, you used to see these on them. You want to copy it out, right? And then you paste it somewhere, or maybe if you don't want to do that, just let's just go ahead and start working. So the next prompt says this. Um, okay, we have generated these, and then okay, so I'm saying here, let us produce a fake copy of this original file. Can I produce a fake copy of this original? So what we just have to do is just to change or add or remove one word or a number of them, and then it's going to change. So it says just change any word in the original document, e.g., run this prompt echo cybersecurity class today. So when we run this stuff, now it's going to create another document, and then inside of it is the same cybersecurity class, right? Okay, so basically, we want to create what we want to do now is to create a new file that also has the same name, right? And everything almost the same. And instead of okay, so let's create a new file, and then in this place, I'll come here. You know, we have 7 here, so when I create this now, it's going to be 8 rather. So I'm going to click on this, and then it's I've created. I want to do my DER, right? DIR, right? And then I'm going to click on enter, and then it's showing me 8 files now. What do we created now? We created a document class called class.tnt, right? What we created it before? What we created before? I'm trying to figure out now. Now let's now go and then do the generate the hash words, the hash. So I'm going to use this prompt, and then I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to come here, and then I'm going to paste it here, and then I'm going to run it. Now, looking at this now and this, there should be change in it, right? Both of them are not going to be the same document. So this one started with uh, CHA2, blah, 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 and the rest equal to. This is the original document. This is equal to. So this is a kind of a hashing version, and it's telling you this is what you hashed, right? And this place again, Malokana, this document with the same name. So well, the only thing is just that we produce a different file, and then it came here D0084. Here I'm having B008. So this is how company, if you go and produce your own WhatsApp tomorrow, when you go online, maybe to Play Store or whatsoever, you are going to find out different WhatsApp that is there, different Facebook that is there. If you are using the Facebook made by that is not made by Meta, and you are using it or something, I think that GB WhatsApp is not made by WhatsApp, right? But I think somebody else made it or something of that nature, and people are using it. It works almost like WhatsApp, so you can't claim that it is what Meta that has that company. They don't have it. So any fake document that was given to you, this is how you can verify or this. But that basically, uh, um, this is very very good. We know this, and one of the reasons for hashing is because it helps us eliminate viruses. Before you use a file, you hash it to make sure that it is from the original company. It is from the original company, or perhaps when you produce a software and then you are selling it or whatsoever, and then somebody wants to dupe you, have made a copy of it, and then you say, this thing is not working, blah blah blah. You should fix it and a whole lot of stuff. Then you might want to what get a copy of it, hash it, and then you find out this is a pirated copy or something of that nature. And pirated copies of documents comes most times with ransomware, viruses, malware, a whole lot of stuff it comes with. So you don't want to use fake solutions, you want to use original solution. So I don't know, I'm not sure if there is any other thing that we have in this particular place you want to learn. So basically, this is how encryption and hashing of documents also works using open ssl, right? Sorry. Okay. Hmm. So we also have video encryption, how you can encrypt a video. This is it on the screen. I'm going to leave it for some time on the screen here. I'm going to leave it for some time on the screen here. And the reason for that is so that you might perhaps pause it and then try to do it or something of that nature. Okay, so you can pause and maybe try to do what you just saw and do the rest of that. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at the count of 10. 1, 2, 7, 8, 8.5, 9, and 10. So let me show you the next environment, right? At the count of 10 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 9.5, and 10. Okay, so this other place again and the rest of that. So this document you already have it. That's the reason why I'm just doing like this and a lot of stuff. So I also have another hashing um explanation and hashing example that we have in this place in this document. You can just go through it and watch it. So one of the reasons for which we hash document is for data integrity. Okay, so it's for data integrity. A company sends a payroll to another office. How do they know nobody altered it? So how is a company going to know that nobody altered the payroll that they sent to another company? Maybe the government agency, they sent a payroll to them that they have prepared in Excel documents. How are they going to know nobody altered it? How are they going to know? It is only by hashing. It is only by hashing that is the only way they can know that that document is um, is not altered. Once they hash it and then the key remains the same, that's the only way they know that it is not altered. So the next one is generating random password. You can company needs strong password for storing information or something of that nature. So you can use OpenSSL to generate what passwords for yourself. Okay. So these are the key if you want to generate a password, a strong password, such as Google used to suggest for us. They use OpenSSL theory to do that. So you can come here and then you can also paste this command and then you run it. It's going to generate a password for you, and that password is what base 64 password, a very strong password for you, right? So that is how to use it to generate a password in this place. You can also run again and then another one will also be generated, right? If you also want to run a longer password, you can see both password are not the same, right? If both password are not the same, you can also use this to you can also generate a longer password using this, right? Um, using the other prompts. Excuse me, the other prompt I have here. Okay, sorry. Where is it? It's in this place. I'm sure that it is here. However, I'm going to end my class very shortly. Okay, random password, and then I have you can also generate 24 character. Okay, base 64, 24 character. This other one 20, 12 character. Generating a private key is also part of the things that uh, this is also used for, and a whole lot of other stuff and the rest of that. So our data integrity is very, very important, and the way in which we know our original documents of things we sent online and the rest of that is by hashing. You can use openssl to generate password. You can use quite a whole lot of stuff. You use it to secure our data in the network space. Thanks so much for being part of this class. I sincerely love you guys, and I would appreciate if you ask your questions, perhaps via DM or maybe in the comment section. You may want to say something nice, and then try as well to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. It really will mean a lot to me. Really will mean a lot to me, and okay. So this is the second video. Very shortly it will be uploaded to us. Thanks so much. I appreciate you guys again. God bless you. And that is our final video for now on Open SSL. Remember, next week we have two classes dedicated to all the tools that we have also used, but you might not have it on YouTube because you want to have a physical class. Thanks so much. I appreciate you guys. Bye for now. Nima loves you.